Oh boy, tier 0 Onomat. Here we go. What is this log essay? So 2021 has not been a great year for Duel Links. We started off with Noble Knights, which some could argue was tier 0 format. I argue that, bro. Hey, let's go! My brother! Now, what actually happened, biased aside, Noble Knights were tier 0 for like a week and a half. And then, whoops! Desperado came out with the counter in Quarantine. And then they were like trash because Quarantine stopped them in Blue Eyes. So I wouldn't so much call it tier 0. Mathematically tier 0 for a week. But then instead of like fully committing to tier 0, all they ended up doing was warping the meta. Because Quarantine is a garbage card. Quarantine is an irrelevant card. It's only good when it was specifically used to counter Noble Knights and Blue Eyes as a byproduct. So I would consider it like, I don't know, like 0.5 or something. It warped the meta, but it wasn't actually tier 0. It's the same thing as Grass Shiranui. Grass Shiranui came in and was like, holy shit, this feels tier 0, but then everyone just adapted and played 30 cards, and it was, you know, whatever. The problem is when we're adapting to automats, it's just automats with more traps. That's the only thing you can do. You know what I mean? After balance got nerfed, we entered our tier 0.5 format filled with Star Seraph, Dark Lord, and Blue Eyes. That was just not a fun meta to be in, having those two decks. Thankfully, we got some peace with Harpies and Resonators entering the format, yeah, which could be annoying because of how pretty much every deck was running 3 Book of Moon, 3 MST, and 2 TTH, but it was still enjoyable for the most part. Unfortunately, now we're back to a very toxic format. I agree, that format wasn't bad. With Harpies, Resonators, and then Automats, it created a nice little triangle of what decks were good, and then Rogue decks were still topping very well, so it was fine. It was fine. Automat is the best deck, and there's no good counter against it. Not true! You can use Automats with trap cards. Yo, this guy's smart. Who is this guy? Does he play in DLA tournaments? He knows what's up. He knows what's up. Get him to write all these. The best counter to Automats is another Automat variant. Hey, that's what I said. On Gaga Head and a lot of back row. Trying to stall, plus with Gaga Head. With that, there's no denying that we're in a tier 0 format with Automats, unfortunately, at the top. While there are decks that try to compete with Automats, they are outclassed at least one of not multiple areas. Thunder Dragons, pretty much. Yeah, it's pretty much Thunder Dragon. Well, hey, this guy is like reading my mind, dude. Is this me? Am I This is Daniel Yugioh. Oh, I like that guy. He's really smart. He's a really smart player. Maybe he's just reading my mind. Maybe he just listened to me and typed everything down. While Thunder Dragon... Wait, where am I? Oh, yeah. While Thunder Dragons might be as strong as Onomat, Thunder Dragon does not have reliable consistency and would inevitably brick. Exactly! Thunder Dragon has the same power, but is not as reliable. On top of that, Automat's side Artifact Lancia. Oh, shit, do they? Oh, I haven't seen that shit yet, but that sounds really broken. In combination with M7. Oh, M7 can bounce... They can bounce the Lancia back to their hand. Oh yeah, the matchup's just a straight up lock. True! The other decks in the format have lower power ceiling like Harpies, Resonators. Currently the only reason to play one of those decks because you have access to 2 TTH, unlike Onomat, which is a very strong card against them. We still see Onomats play TTH though, which is pretty awful. Not gonna lie. One sister, one TTH. Oh my god. Harpies on top of that have Harpy's Hunting Ground, which results in a favorable matchup against slower Gaga Head version. Unfortunately, doesn't have consistency in the vein of Automata Play and Demon's Resonance. Also, it loses heavily. Harpy's Hunting Ground loses heavily to the Rhino Beetle because it can't Swallow's Nest out, so you're guaranteed to lose your Harpy. And it'll brick often. As it stands, Harpies and Resonators need to give up their current playstyle and try out new stuff if they want to stay relevant in upcoming weeks. I don't think they can. As a result of Onomat's dominance, a new deck emerged. Hero Flash Stall is a third. No way, dude. It's filled to the brim with at least 18 traps in addition to some hand traps. The win con is to try and draw every trap possible to slow down Onomats enough and then either deck them out or wait until one draws the Alistair, the Invoker, or a similar blowout card. The only way out of this format is either an emergency ban list, a new box will change things up, or someone makes a new discovery that drastically changes the format. Until then, Automats remain dominant force in the meta. Alright, Hero Flash is a meme. Don't bring that up. Yeah, this guy knows what's up. Umso, Daniel Yugioh, I agree with like literally everything he said, except maybe the stall thing. That was just more memes, you know? Tier 2. So we're skipping Tier 1, going to Thunder Dragons. Thunder Dragon remains at Tier 2 as the only deck that has the ability to sort of compete with Onomats, with its floating advantage, hand traps, and boss monster Chaos Dragon Levianeer, assuming it's negated. However, Onomat side cards like Artifact Lancia and Steel Swarm Roach makes it impossible to be higher on the tier list. I would actually put Thunder Dragons Tier 3, bro. For tournament specifically. Maybe in ladder Tier 2. But in tournament play, Tier 3 for Thunder Dragons, man. It's not even... It's like Automats are Tier 0, and then Thunder Dragons are Tier 3, and then the rest don't even matter. The rest don't even matter. That's what I would do, personally. Thunder Dragon remains Tier 2. Few decks keep up. Chaos Dragon, Levianeer. However, the deck loses against, yeah, because of the Artifact Lancia. Yeah. Tier 3, yeah, Harpies and Resonators aren't even, like, a thing anymore, so I don't agree with this at all. Strengthen Harpies, their ability to pop multiple back row with Harpies Hunting Ground with the help of Swallow's Nest. But you can't because of Rhino Bus. But now with a back row version of Onomats existing with the ability to go first and Harpies Hunting Ground before setting their own back row, it's not always the case. Harpies adapted in the past by adding Forbidden Chalice to their tool, but now it's starting to have to deal with both Rhino Bus and back row. Yeah, the problem with Harpies playing in a Rhino Bus is you cannot Swallow's Nest. It's non-targeting removal. So you can't Swallows anymore. So yeah. Yeah, if I had to change this, dude, Tier 3, I would take these out. Thunder Dragon, move that shit down here. Off the tier list. Why were they even on the tier list? Is there really a reason to play Shiranui over heavy back row Onomat decks? That's what I've been saying for weeks! Why are you playing Shiranui? Just play heavy back row Onomat. It's literally better. It is literally the better Shiranui. Hello? I can't really justify picking Endless Trap Hell over Onomata play. It's just way less consistent. For this reason, we demoted Shiranui. Rugnari. Oh shit, Rugnari is on the TPC? I didn't know that. Shiranui is off the tier list due to its playstyle and being able to keep with the current meta, and existing other decks do it better. Summoning Samurai Skull with set 3 isn't strong against popular decks, even some running Forbidden Lance. Wow. TPC deserves more credit. Their tier list the past 2 weeks actually describe the results, even this weekend's KC Cup, which is 6... Yes, I am so tired of people saying shit like tournaments have no impact on ladder. The reason you guys see a different format in ladder is because not everyone's playing the most expensive decks. But once we saw KCGT, which was literally ladder format, it is literally ladder format. You can change your decks whenever you want. It's exactly the same as tournament scene. It's the same exact thing. Onomats, Thunder Dragons. That's it. Yeah. This is the 4th time in all of Duel Links we've had a true tier 0, the other being Cyber Angel, For Hire, and 6 Samurai. Decks like Blue Eyes, Dark Lords, Grass Fury came close, though. That's because these decks got nerfed. Also, 6 Samurai got nerfed just as fast, if not faster, than Blue Eyes and Dark Lords, so 6 Samurai under this would have never been tier 0 either, if we're being honest. So whenever we talk about the tier list, the DLM tier list, their actual rankings are irrelevant, right? But the player knowledge, because a lot of these people, like Daniel Yugioh, Fire Red, they play in DLE tournaments, so getting their input is very critical to me, because they're the ones out here getting the top 8s for these decks, right? And especially this first blurb here from Daniel Yugioh, Umso, whatever he prefers to be called by. This first blurb, just read this, and you'll be able to... He perfectly articulates this meta that we're in right now. It is a toxic format, and this year has not been that great for formats, realistically. There's been one good format this entire year. You know? The Noble Knight Blue Eyes Desperado meta, that was toxic, alright? The Blue Eyes Dark Lord meta, that was toxic, alright? All those metas were toxic. The only ones that weren't really toxic is the one we just left, where it was actually fair and balanced, right? So... literally tier 0 Onomats, the rest of these decks don't even like matter. I would personally drop Thunder Dragons to tier 3 because they're the only realistic chance, and it's just it just comes down to them bricking or not. If they don't brick, best deck. If they do brick, well, they suck. Harpies, Resonators, I wouldn't even count these as decks right now. They're so irrelevant. It's not even funny. It's not even funny how irrelevant these decks are. So, but yeah, I mostly agree with this guy up here. If you want my opinion on the meta, just everything this guy said, just repeat it. There you go. YouTube! Circus, put it on YouTube.